What does God say?
Nothing. He just stands there staring at me. He doesn't speak. He doesn't move. He does nothing. He just stands there staring at me.
Is there a devil?
No, only me and God. I try talking to him, but he doesn't respond.
How does this dream end?
I wake up. No end, no beginning. It starts with him staring at me, and it ends with him staring at me.
Where are you when God stares at you?
I'm in front of him, probably 10 feet away.
Any specific location? Any trees or buildings nearby?
Nothing. Doesn't take place anywhere. I'm not even sure if it takes place in a blank space. There's nothing there.
I, Dr. Porthos, have elected to embark on an experiment that has great relevance to the human race. It is an experiment that many will consider controversial and will most certainly upset the scientific community at large. It is to be an experiment in terror. Pain and suffering is permanent in the human condition, and my experiment will examine the possible outcome of this current course of evolution. The human race is evolving, but do we want to be what we are evolving into?
I'm going to record the next interview for further reference in my research. It's the usual word association game. I give you a word, you tell me the first thing that pops into your mind. Are you ready to begin?
Red,
Blood.
blue,
Murder.
green,
Song.
plate,
Food.
weight,
Lift.
coffee,
Smoke.
girl,
Love.
dog,
Bark.
death,
Skeleton.
plant,
Dust.
comedy,
Tragedy.
tragedy,
Duck.
vagina,
Birth.
tits,
Family.
daughter,
Sex.
rape,
Bird.
monster,
Ghost.
memory,
Purple.
The candidate shows interesting potential. He seems more attuned to a subconscious than the average person. The drawback to this is that access to the subconscious may be too simple. The benefit is now I can discover the possible extreme of my experiments. I want you to talk about yourself for the camera. Just basic information. I'll ask you some questions to start.
where do you come from?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Were you an only child?
Yes, I am.
Are your parents still together?
Kind of. I mean, I'm an orphan. They died when I was very young.
How old were you when they passed?
2. I was 2 when the plane they were in crashed.
And how do you feel about planes?
I don't know. They're alright, I guess, as long as they get where they're going.
Do you believe in an afterlife?
Sure.
How about reincarnation? Do you believe in that?
It's possible.
If reincarnation exists, what would you like to come back as?
An Atari game.
Inside each and every one of us lies hidden a monster. In order to examine such a monster, I must expose the inner subconscious of the candidate and bring the monster to light. I can only speculate as to the nature of the beast. Is it raging with madness? Does it have an uncontrollable thirst for blood? Perhaps it possesses an extreme vitality, thereby being strongly attracted to physical lust. I must investigate further. Hopefully the candidate will consent to a series of experiments. Though the experiments are wholly unorthodox, they must be conducted. I must know the secrets within. The subject seems to have the usual fears and tensions of the normal, average person. If I expose him to a number of sessions involving a common form of torture, I believe I can unlock the gates into his subconscious. I do, however, suspect the average mind to be more fragile than originally predicted. Therefore, it may snap after 1 or 2 sessions. Perhaps hypnotism will help prolong the subject's durability if needed. After the first session, the subject displayed the expected increase in adrenaline. Change in behavior includes heightened awareness and erratic attitude. I found it necessary to isolate the subject before the next session.
It's time for the next session.
West Coast fashionistas practicing self-fellatio, attempting desperately to convince themselves of their own bullshit as they proclaim coolness, hipness, and fashionability, while blatantly copying and ripping off anything and everything they can get their grubby little hands on, stupidly continuing to be blind to their own fatness. Middle America looks coldly to both coasts and says, "Fuck you," pretending to sell politics and religion to a nation bloated by self-importance. If the savage lives publicly, then America is a nation of savage civilization, forcing privacy into the public, hoping to sell itself to the public like a cheap whore that doesn't know how to give a blowjob, relying only on his lack of teeth. Gumming dicks and praying the prayer gets the illusion of pussy while mentally blocking out the taste of their own spunk as it glides down the tubes of their throat. America bitches and complains while it continues to kill itself as though suicide was the latest fad. The internet has quietly murdered the cool with blatant abandon right in front of everyone's eyes. God doesn't need your belief. The only thing I can do that no one else is willing to do is sustain the probably uninteresting shot. This will probably make you hate yourself, Mickey Mouse is the new Messiah. But he died before anyone realized it. Who needs a transition?
It finally happened. Albeit sooner than expected, the subject's mind has finally snapped. I am not fully convinced that the subject is capable of heinous acts of horror, such as murder. Therefore, I must continue my research. My next step will be to hypnotize the subject in an effort to prolong the next session. Focus on the object you see before you. Keep your eyes on it and concentrate on relaxing. Just sit back in your seat with your hands in your lap and relax. Let all the pressure and tension just melt away. Relax. 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 You are feeling very calm right now. Calm, peaceful, and relaxed. You are very relaxed right now. We will now commence with another session of our experiment. During this experiment, you will remain calm. Calm, peaceful, and relaxed. Let us continue. In the beginning of the experiment, the subject showed much promise. An average mind of normal intelligence, nothing unique or antisocial about him. As the experiments carried on, his mind began to unravel. Ranting and raving like a lunatic, scratching at the floor of his cell. Hypnotism did manage to keep him under control. Unfortunately, something went wrong with the experiment this last session. It is a good thing that I choose subjects who don't have close relations. Therefore, it keeps unnecessary interruptions to an absolute minimum. I must dispose of this subject as I have of the others. Also, I must find a more efficient method of waterboarding.